Hello, everybody. Today we are here to discuss perimenopause. We have with us Kristina Yeley. Did I say that right? Yeley?
Yes, Yeley.
All right, Kristina Yeley. She has just crossed that 12-month mark, and so she's here to speak with us about her experience with perimenopause. Kristina, could you tell us a little about yourself? Just whatever you want to say. If you're married, if you have children, whatever you want to say. If you want to say your age, you can say your age as well. Just tell us a little bit
Okay.
about yourself.
Let's see. I'm 48 years old, and I've been married to my best friend for 27 years. We have 3 children. We actually have 2 sons, and our youngest son was a twin. So, but we've miscarried his twin sister at 12 weeks. So we have two living sons who are 26 and 23.
Okay. All right. So tell me, how did you find out about perimenopause? Did you know about it before you started in that journey?
No, actually, I didn't know much. I actually began when I was experiencing a lengthy period, a monthly cycle, which lasted, oh gosh, it must have been like 12 days. I talked to a friend of mine about it, asking if this was anything unusual, and she explained to me that's what that was. She said, as you get older, your menstrual cycle will change. So this was one of the symptoms of getting older, that it could last longer. And so I began to do research on the internet, trying to find answers as to what was happening.
Yeah, that was my next question. What did you do when you first found out? So you did research. What else? Did you do anything else besides research at the beginning?
No, I just kind of just dealt with it.
Okay.
So
how long did it start? How long did it last throughout your perimenopause journey? How long was it for? Some people go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 5 years, 10 years. How long did it last for you?
My perimenopause was roughly about 8 years. I started right after I turned 40. Okay. That summer, so it was about 8 years.
Okay. What was the most difficult part of it for you, of perimenopause?
I think the most difficult part was the length of the cycles that I would have. They would last, sometimes like up to 12 days, and the just being tired. I was really tired a lot, and not being able to think very clearly. Okay. It was when my cognitive thinking was affected greatly.
Okay. All right. So you were tired, your thinking was impaired a bit. Did you experience any other symptoms? Like some people have hot flashes or extreme hunger or irritability. Did you experience any other symptoms?
Oh, yes, definitely. I would, what we would call those a power surge. It was just an enormous amount of sweat breaking out into and then shortly after getting cold, not long after that, I would be very, very hot, sweating profusely, droplets of sweat, and then it being just really, really cold. So from one extreme temperature to the other for me. That was very difficult. As far as irritability, my husband, he never complained. He never said anything about that. But I had some strange cravings, hunger cravings. The strangest one was that I wanted orange juice and sushi. So that was my strangest craving.
Interesting. Much like pregnancy, where you have strange cravings, I guess perimenopause has those too.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So did you take any herbs or supplements or anything to help with any of the symptoms?
No, actually, I I don't recall taking. I didn't take any kind of therapy or anything. I just I did take some. What was that? It was a company name, Nature Sunshine. They had one that was called Flash Ease. Is
Okay.
what I took. I'm actually gonna look that up and see what that is real quick. Sorry, I wasn't prepared.
That's okay.
But I took. It had a mixture of different different supplements in that. I wanted to go the natural way about things. So it was a black cohosh extract
Okay.
with a dong quai is what it was. So I took that.
Okay. Did you find that it helped?
I did. It definitely helped with the being able to think a little more clearly.
Okay. All right. Now, in the climate where you live, you have seasons. Like in the Caribbean, basically, people say summer all year round, but it's a little colder towards the end of the year. But where you live, you have the full-fledged winter and the summer and the spring and the fall, right? Did you find that any of the seasons, your symptoms were worse in one season than in another season? Like, for example, winter was worse or summer was worse, or, you know?
I really never really paid much attention to that.
Okay.
So no, I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So you said that regarding your husband, he didn't show any signs of you having expressed irritability, but through the other parts of your symptoms of the perimenopause, did your husband, was he aware that you were going through perimenopause? Well, how did he respond to that?
Yeah, he was definitely aware. And he called me his little heater. I was his little heater. So he was very supportive. He, I would have a fan on sometimes in the bedroom, and he would have extra blankets. So it was very, very much like with pregnancy, we knew it wasn't going to last for forever. So we just knew that we would kind of have to just adjust for the time, and knew it would be over soon. So we just kind of knew that, kind of had that mindset, that it wasn't going to be that way forever. Okay. And with our commitment to one another, that was the other thing. We were very much committed that through all seasons of marriage and life, that our friendship is what really bases our relationship. So that was very supportive.
Good. That's good. Support is good when you're going through times that are different and strange with all kinds of symptoms that you've not had before. That's good. That's good. So what about your children? Did your children know you were going through it? Did they respond how did they respond if they knew?
Yeah, no, actually I've always been very, very honest with our sons. We educated our children at home. So therefore, they knew at a very young age when mommy was on her cycle. I explained things to them that this is part of growing up. So therefore, as another season of my life, I let them know that, and they said, okay, well, what does that mean? And so I explained to them that it would basically, the way I understood it, that my body was going to stop producing eggs. So I would no longer be able to conceive, to have children, and that my body would be going through changes. And they said, well, okay, they just had an attitude that it was like a part of life, and of course, with the strange cravings, sometimes they would pick me things up at the grocery store and bring it home. They're very supportive too.
All right, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking your attitude as well toward the whole thing also influenced their attitude, because if your attitude was sour, they would probably develop a sour attitude as well. Because I think that parents have a great part to play in how children, view things and accept things, how we look at it, how we display our attitude towards it. They pick up on that same thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I believe that that's the biggest thing when a person is going through this season of their life is knowing that that it is a normal process, like you said, the attitude of, and knowing that it won't last forever, that you will eventually get through that, and also being able to rejoice. For me personally, was rejoicing and knowing that, I was entering into the next season, if that makes sense. Just I had made it through childbearing years. I had made it through raising of the children, and now it was just the next stage. And my husband and I joking about it. That was helpful. Having a pleasant, jokeful attitude, and we would even say that he had hot flashes. So that was whether he does or not, I don't know, but we would joke about that, that it was his turn to have one. So when I was cold and he was hot, I said, "Oh, are you having a hot flash?" He said, "Oh, yes." So
all right. So you told me recently that just this past month, July, you hit the 1-year mark where you have had no periods.
yes.
How does it feel having left perimenopause and have now entered into menopause? How do you feel at this point, the 1-year mark, that you've actually left perimenopause and you're in how do you feel about that?
I actually feel pretty good about it. I feel like, that it's like I said, there's more of a freedom, I guess, than not having to be concerned about conception with children. I think it just, I don't know, I not having to be concerned, I guess, the worrisome, like, oh, am I going to start today? Because with the perimenopause, the cycle moves around. It's not predictable. Where when I was a much younger person, it was very cyclical, very much new every 28 days. But in the perimenopause, it just, you never knew when you were going to start. And so crossing over then into the menopause stage, it's like not having that in the back of your mind, wondering, am I going to start this week? Am I going to start next week? That kind of thing. So I think there's a freedom to it.
Okay. All right. So for those of us who are still in this journey, some of us have just started, some of us are maybe halfway, but we don't really know. What advice would you give us, as we go through this? What advice would you give us? There's a follow-up question as to advice you'd give those who have not yet entered, but this question is for those of us who are in perimenopause right now. What advice would you give us?
I would say for those who are actually in the perimenopause stage right now, one of the biggest things is to one, make sure you get plenty of rest. That's very, very important. And to be very transparent with those in your family, your closest family members, to let them know that, this is something that you're going through, and you're handling it the best that you can, but mainly just, the biggest thing is to drink plenty of water, to get plenty of rest, and to enjoy lots of sunshine. I think that helped, is by spending time, walking, and just keeping your keeping a good attitude. I think is a biggest part of it, having a good attitude towards it, and knowing that it will pass.
You mentioned again the family circle, letting them know, and with me, like you, we've home educated our children, and they are aware of my cycles whenever it started, like, okay, it's here, and so on. So they're aware throughout the years, whenever every month they know. And now I've entered this stage, we've also shared with them, that this is what I've entered into, and it will carry with it different things. And I think it's important that for your circle, what you said it twice, and I think we should take a note of that our family circles are important, that they can know and not be just caught on always like, what is happening, So thank you for that. And I pray that our readers would get a hold of that they would not keep it secret, that they would actually indeed be open about it, and that the other family members would then be able to cope with it better if there are extreme symptoms that they're going through, So thank you for that. So for those now who have not yet entered, they're in their late 20s, they're in their early 30s, late 30s, maybe early 40s, and they have not yet started that journey. What advice would you give them to help them prepare for it physically, emotionally, mentally? What advice would you give to those who have not yet started?
gosh, if someone hasn't started this part of life yet, I think I would just encourage them to be more comfortable with themselves, I guess, and knowing that you're going to change. Your body's going to change over time, and I think that that's important to what I mean by changing is not only with, you know, with the whole menopausal thing, but you're growing, and you're how do I say this, you're becoming with your wisdom, what you will be gaining from that, you'll be able to help someone else. I think that having that kind of an attitude is like, what can you learn through that? And I think if I would suggest is that, you know, maybe doing a little bit more of a research beforehand to be prepared, you know, knowing that these are possible symptoms that you will have, so that you're not taken off guard. Okay. I think that, you know, having that knowledge, I think is powerful beforehand.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Kristina, for sharing with us your journey. I think this will be helpful to other women, because when I was looking last month, 2 months ago, when I realized I was in that stage of life, I was looking for personal experiences. I would find a little bit here, a little bit there, but not so much information. And I think these video interviews are going to be helpful for women like me who are looking for other women to share their experiences, you know, just having a live face and hearing what you went through, hearing how you dealt with it. So I want to thank you so much for being our first interviewee, and for, you know, being able to be part of this journey to help women to thrive in perimenopause, because that's what the Peri Thrive blog is all about, to help women to thrive in that journey. So when we hear other women's experiences, we can prepare ourselves, or we can, you know, be better able to accept that, well, what I'm going through is not as bad as what she went through. So, okay, so, you know, we can handle it better. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you lending your voice, and just speaking with you helped me as well, so I can prepare myself for things down the road, and knowing that I'm on the right track, sharing with my husband and my children, you know. So thank you so very much, and I pray that you have a wonderful day.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being here, Jennifer.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.